Okay, so something lately that's kind of been on my mind that I've wanted to just get off my chest, I guess, is I feel that there's not a lot of, or even if there's a voice for Hispanics today on television that's just middle class. George Lopez might have been the one thing that you did see at one point in time, but the show got canceled because I guess Mexicans didn't relate, or maybe people just didn't like it. I don't know. But the other thing is just in comedy in general, when you see Mexicans or Hispanics, it always seems to play to the same old stereotypes of what we are. It is basically the same thing that you see and that everybody runs with and gives a shit for today. That we're all beaners that are just have these blue collar jobs that we do nothing above that. And while that's not the case, there are lawyers, there are doctors, I understand that there are Hispanics that actually do things and that there are those of us who aspire to be more than that, but you don't see that on a more consistent basis, especially in just comedy. Every time you see a Mexican comedy, it's usually just, you know, dickies and house shoes and socks, and it's the essay stereotype. I grew up around it, but I don't relate to it. I don't understand it. I don't get it. I really don't find it funny. It almost seems it's like blackface for Mexicans. I don't know. Figure that one out. But even in late night television, there are no writers. There's not one Mexican writer in late night television. There's not even one writer in sketch comedy that's on television today that's a writer. There's hardly any performers that are. So it's kind of I don't blame Hollywood. I don't sit there and say that it's their fault that we're not getting our fair shot. I feel like it's us as a culture that is kind of just not putting forth the effort. Maybe we just don't care. Maybe we're fine not having a voice. Maybe the stereotype is more so true than what I know. But I feel like we can be funny without having to play down who we are. That we can be just as funny on a broad spectrum and see things from a broader perspective and have that voice that even though you don't necessarily come from Southern California or New York or Chicago or Seattle or Texas or Florida, you could be a Mexican guy in the Midwest. But if it's relatable to anyone, Mexican, white, black, that's the one thing that should happen. And I don't think that's really happening. I feel like more of us, we stick to that one thing that we know is going to make Mexicans laugh, and then that's pretty much it. So it's sad though because we don't have this generation that's willing to expand beyond that little box that they know and they've built or that their families have built with them around them and they stay in it and it's happy. And then when you do see Hispanics that are successful, it's because they can play to larger crowds of Mexicans, not just everybody. So I don't know, but I think the one thing that has to happen is that we have to start trying somewhere at some point. Someone has to be willing to take that chance to just try, and until they do, let's just like